Hey everybody, Dave Weigel, a family court fraud warrior. Before I get started, I just wanted to thank everybody and explain a little why I'm doing these long videos. This is the conversation that I would have with friends and family and loved ones, you know, if I was sitting at dinner table with you. Please don't view this totally as just me constantly demanding your time. I'm really hoping for this to just be a very important conversation that needs to be had. Where we are now is that, you know, their game plan is to drag this out longer than I can keep this interesting. It's nothing for them to just keep toying and dragging this out, causing more expenditures. But for those that have been following know that, yep, she did it. It was never over. Her attorney was never gone in the first place. This was just the latest ploy. They gave me the kids back because they had to. You know, the heat was too strong. There was no way to look good in any way, shape, or form by withholding the kids from their father. So I said, okay, we'll do it this way. Okay, we'll give him back with the one hand, and then we'll destroy him with the other hand. I just can't get my head around this reality. It's such an absolute mockery of the law or due process. When I came into this, I thought, okay, all right, 30% is bullshit, and you know, at least 70% is the law. Then as you go through it, you just act as if, okay, well, at least it's 70% bullshit, 30% the law. So unbelievable to just see how this entire court system is just absolutely nothing to do with the law whatsoever. I got hit with a real light bulb moment the other day. I was watching Jon Stewart. It was the interview that he had on one of the news channels that said, you know, why he was coming back. Went over what he did, all the years with the Daily Show and speaking truth to power and standing up, going down to Congress. I don't think we could have ever asked for a better guy to be able to be in that role. And being the self-deprecating guy that he is, he said, oh yeah, it was such a great thing for society. You know, he's like, oh yeah, there was a pundit in Germany in the 1940s or whatever, and he was outing all the horrible shit that the Nazis were doing. And he said, what did that change? What did that change? So I must have found 200 of these stories identical to mine. I mean, my friend Rob that I've just made out in California, it is astounding that his story is identical to mine. You know, I'm going back into court at 3 p.m. on Friday, May 10th. Why would it be 3 p.m. to start a case at 3 p.m. on a Friday? What happens on, oh, it's Sabbath, okay, so there's no night court. So if I happen to get arrested, I guess I'm in there until, you know, I see a judge on the weekend. I'm not just out here crying about money at this point because I've got my kids back. No, okay? I am set up for complete destruction because I have outed the system. I've put names out there, I've put pictures out there, I've spoken to the press, and therefore I need to be destroyed. And the only one that could have saved all of this from happening is my lovely ex, Georgina. And I wanted to believe, just wanted to believe, maybe you're wrong, Dave. You know, maybe everything that you researched and saw about narcissist personality disorder is wrong. But I knew. I knew I had weight. It's just, I knew. But, and I've tried to lay off. I've tried to lay off and really put the focus on the system that exacerbates and weaponizes this narcissist behavior, because you can't have one without the other, okay? And what's harming everybody else is not, you know, my particular ex, okay? It may not even be a narcissist, okay? Their system is built to blow any divorce out of the water. And so I'm going to be putting a series of videos out called Coachable Moments, and I'm focusing on all the things I've learned over my 12 years and things that I've said, geez, if I knew that before, and hopefully this will be information that will really help others try to avoid this at all costs or circumvent it in any particular way. But because my ex had the choice that I put out last time, for me to start over at this point right now and commit $1.3 million to her, 100% of the kids' expenses, 100% of college, $5,000 a month, okay, after what I've been through, I gotta grow, okay? I can't just do what I'm doing, I have to grow. I have to put 12, 13, 14 hours a day in. But that's not good enough. That's not good enough, okay? That was the one chance that there could be some positivity going forward, and we just can't have that. No, they need the destruction. They need me to lose my life's work in order to dissuade anybody else from trying to do, what I've been doing. So at this point right now, I cannot lay off, okay, the main culprit of this, which is Georgina Dimison. None of this would have happened and could have happened without her involvement at every juncture, given her every reason to be able to put this behind her. And any normal person, and this is, the shtick, this is how they get over, is that nobody can believe a human brain can work that way. So it's easier not to believe. It's easier to call it, which is why I need to put this information out for the court of public opinion. And everything that I'm going to say, as with everything, is 100% the truth. And I've got evidence to back everything up. All right. There will never be a dissection of this in 100 years that will show that, okay, maybe I got like the date wrong, the 8th or the 9th. Okay. There will never be a situation where anything that I'm talking about the content would have been fabricated. No one will ever prove that in a million years, because the truth is the truth. And if I'm walking into the guillotine on Friday, then I'm doing so with the truth being out there in total. Okay, and then now it's time that people understand a little bit about the root cause of this. All right. People have asked me, Dave, what does she want? I'm like, as soon as somebody asks me that, I know. It's like, you just don't get it. What does any abuser want? What did the Nazis want when they're putting kids in ovens? They want to harm. They want that power. It's a drug. It's a drug. I mean, if you want to boil down to particulars, what does she want? Well, she's 55 and, $5,000 a month is not enough for her to retire on. And she's broke, and she's realized her money makers have gone south for the winter, for a long, long winter. And I know that sounds horrible, okay, but this is just the reality in the driver, is that this was set up to be her retirement plan from the beginning, and she's not pulling away from it. What has to be said at this point is the particulars of what I've picked up over these last couple of months with the kids and what the repercussions are. All right, people could be asking, all right, you've read stories, you've heard, how does this affect the kids? They were alienated for 3 full years, right? Systematically. Father taken out of their life, and now they've got him back. And it's been 2 months. How's it been? Well, the short story is it's been amazing. And in many other communications, I think you could see that. But right now, I really need to focus on what this video needs to do. And this video needs to shed light on people on what are the repercussions to the kids after you do this to them. After you do this to them. All right, so I've had 2 months now of conversations back and forth, with them, and been able to see, notice, and pay attention to what's going on. My daughter knows, what I'm doing and why I'm doing this, okay? But she wants to live with me. She can't wait till I get to Connecticut. And that's why we're in the position we're in here today. Because what Friday is about destroying my ability to be able to do that, to be able to have enough money to actually live in her town. That's why we're here. Right? But the other things that she said to me over those last 2 months is heartbreaking. She said, Dad, you've been there more for me this past weekend than Mama's been there for me forever. I mean, I've been taking care of me and Evo since I'm 9 years old. Cooking, feeding myself. And it sounds ridiculous. It sounds like I must be lying. No. She said, my friends only half jokingly say that I'm the kid that doesn't get fed. Basic necessities. Basic things. The narcissist only cares about themselves. And if the kids aren't there in a position to be making her look good, then they're fine. They're fine. I've seen my son come alive over these last 2 months, and as wonderful as it is, all I could do is think about what caused him to be there in the first place. They said to me, Dad, you don't mind having to drive 4 hours during the week back and forth? You're getting in at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, no, guys, Daddy doesn't mind. You'll understand when you have kids what that love is. But the neglect is visible. I had to teach my 13-year-old son how to tie his shoes properly. He's 13. I know there's the Velcro shoes and other things. It's not the same as when we grew up, but to tie his shoes. Just think about that. What that means, what that says. I had my kids involved in everything. Karate, dance, softball, flag football. Last 2 years, nothing. 0. My daughter loves softball. She loves it. But now she hasn't done it for 2 years. So she's behind. She's behind. Way to go. Way to go. Way to position your kids for success. Right from day one. I got my son in tennis now because he can't do football. No, that's too dangerous. Yeah. This is from a woman who took her daughter out during the beginning of COVID. A girl with asthma. So bad. So bad she had to be hospitalized for it at 5 years old for 4 days. She couldn't breathe on her own. But no, right at the beginning of COVID, Mommy takes her to Target because she was bored. A little kid with a known breathing, major problem. They'll be fine. Kids are fine. Noticed over this last 4 months, my daughter's over here, her EpiPen is 4 years old. Her inhaler, same thing, 4 years old. I can't get these things refilled without involving shithead. So you know what? It's time people know really who this narcissist is, okay? Because it's not a mother, okay? A narcissist harms their children by design. It's not a sidebar issue, okay? It's what they do. And if you do any kind of research on your own, that's what you're gonna see. It is not and also, it's centerpiece of what they do. But I'm gonna tell a story that really means, I think, and speaks to who's actually winning here on Friday. What the kids are attached to. Back in the very, very beginning of this, back 2018, 2019, when she first ripped the kids out of my life, and she made the announcement that just still rings in my ears, rings in my head. I'm getting you out of my life and getting you out of the kids' lives. I mean, all the blood rushed out of my soul. It's like, I didn't even hear the first part. Out of the kids' lives? What? Why? Why would you? How could you do that to them? And she said, no, I'm getting you out of my life and out of the kids' lives. It's all been planned. Yeah, she said that right in front of the kids. It's all been planned. Boy, was it. And planned with who? So the first year, and she pulled them out. She was living down the block, 300 yards away. But as she took them out of my life, she refused to spend any time with them. Right? Her way of dealing with it was to go out every single night. So nannies woke these kids up and put them to bed every single day. Their father's 300 yards away, dying to see them. Nope. But she won't even be with them. She won't even be with them. I remember on my son's actual birthday. His actual birthday was a Wednesday. He didn't see either of his parents that day. From sun up to sundown. When I questioned her, I was like, how the hell did you go out on your son's birthday? Go home after work. What the hell's wrong with you? She said, what? We're throwing a party for him on Saturday. What don't you get about a 7-year-old boy on his actual birthday? Not even see his dad and his mom. The first year of a divorce. This is not something an intelligent person doesn't know. How does this happen? How is this allowed? And this is the person that's favored in this court system. At the end of the first year, I grabbed my daughter's phone and I counted up 86 times text messages. My daughter, Mommy, where are you? Come home. Come home. How come you're never with us? Come home. What do they should get back? Shut up. 9 and 11. 86 times. 86 times. Kicked it right over to my attorney, Taylor Cos. And, well, that's not good, but it's not. I had no idea. I had no idea he was working for the other side. Unbelievable. But this is the information that's going to get processed through AI. AI is going to see the authenticity of those text messages from my daughter's phone to her mother's phone and count them up. And then it's not going to be just me saying that it's 86 times. And they're going to count up a lot of other things. But the worst by far, and this is my last shot. I'm going to be making these things educational and be laser focused on the practical things that can be done to address this situation, to combat this situation. All right. But the other thing I really wanted to do is give the complete picture of what a narcissist is and what to look out for and how you can try to protect your family from never letting anyone, okay, that gives these indication, these red flags anywhere near your family. Okay, that's my biggest hope from this work, is that people will continue to be aware that this alternate brain exists in 3% of the world. In 3% of the world. And how much a mistake it is to just automatically think that they think like you. Right? And that's the biggest mistake that you could make, is not understand that they do not think the way normal humans think. They don't have the apparatus for distress. So I've got to end this now on the worst story. The worst example of selfishness, of the desire, the blindness to just put your self-interests above all else, anyone else, for any reason. So, first year or so when we were fighting, she was out every single night, and that means on the weekends she had to dump the kids somewhere. And my daughter had a massive asthma issue as a child, and she was hospitalized for 5 days. I was with her the whole time, and she couldn't breathe on her own. She couldn't breathe on her own. They couldn't let her out of the hospital because she couldn't breathe on her own. My little 5-year-old baby couldn't breathe. That was the longest taxi ride ever. Get up to that hospital. And when you experience that, you're on guard. And so this Saturday night in November, Mommy was out partying it up. And she dumped the kids at her boyfriend's house or whatever, apartment, but it was only 300 yards away. And about midnight, my daughter starts having a massive, massive asthma attack. She can't breathe. And Mommy didn't think enough to make sure that she had her EpiPen and her inhaler. So my little baby, throat's closing up, and her chest closing up, and she can't breathe. And then she's texting and calling her mother. Little Evo's there freaking out. They're alone. There's some stranger, some 40-year-old man. And this mother's leaving a 11-year-old girl with a 40-year-old stranger. Oh, he was a friend of a friend, but it's the level of irresponsibility. But she's calling and she's texting, Mommy, I'm having this asthma attack. I'm 300 yards away. I could have been there in 2 minutes. 2 minutes flat with the EpiPen, with the inhaler, boom, out the door. Would have been in her hands. Mommy takes 25 minutes to mosey her ass up the block, to pull herself from what she was doing. She couldn't call me. I was right there. She could have picked up the phone and just said, Dave, get there. Your daughter's having an asthma attack. You've got the EpiPen. You've got the inhaler. That's who's winning. That's who's prevailing in this legal structure, this thing that's supposed to produce justice. It's not right. It needs to stop. Thank you.